Yesterday in class, we used our sentence frame about Dora and the equations given to put the numbers in to figure out which one made sense. And then we modeled the equation using a number line. Sometimes we drew a bar model above it if it was easier for us. We did this problem in class, 2/5 times 7. If you have any other questions about that one, raise your hand. We also did 1/8 times 10 in class. So if you are unsure about something on the number line, or perhaps drawing the bar model above it, again, raise your hand and I'll be over there. We are going to do the second two problems on this page together. So again, we're going to use the word problem frame to think about how the equation is represented in real life. Then, model the equation using a number line. Draw a bar model above if needed, which I'm going to do. Dora explores kilometers of the path each minute of the show. So does it make sense that she could explore 7/12 kilometers? Yeah, she could walk and explore less than a kilometer. Could she explore 4 kilometers? Yes. So we have to go and keep reading and find out what makes sense in this blank. If today's show is 7/12 minutes long, can a show be less than a minute long? Probably not. Could a show be 4 minutes long? Probably wouldn't be, but 4 minutes makes more sense than less than a minute. So we're going to put 4 minutes in the length of minutes and 7/12 as our kilometers. Now I'm going to give you a helpful hint here. We're going to start our number line at 0 because that's where she's starting and she's walking from there. And we're going to end it at 3 kilometers. And I'm going to put kilometers next to each of my whole numbers. So again, if we have 3 wholes, I can partition this into thirds. And then I would have 1 kilometer and 2 kilometers. Great. So now we're saying Dora explores 7/12 kilometers of the path each minute. So in order to show her walking along the path, I'm going to draw a bar model above. So my bar model is starting at 0 and ending at 3 holes. And then I'm going to draw a straight line, or straight as I can, between the start and the finish of where she's walking. And of course, I'm going to make sure my holes are there. So I have 1 hole, 2 holes, 3 holes. All right. She's walking 7/12 of a mile. So we need to partition each of our pieces into 12 pieces. So I'm going to partition in half, and then into fourths, and then each fourth into thirds, because that gives us 3, 6, 9, 12. Each of these is worth 1/12. So go ahead, pause the video, and partition each of your holes into 12ths and write 1/12 inside each of the pieces that represent 1/12. So go ahead, pause the video now, and do this on your paper. So for each of the minutes the show went on today, Dora walked 7/12 miles. Let's count that. So the first minute she walked 7/12 of a mile. 1/12, 2/12, 3/12, 4/12, 5/12, 6/12, 7/12. So I'm going to group my 7/12 together. That was the first minute. Then the second minute, she walked 7 more 12ths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7/12. And I'm going to label that with my pencil, the 7/12 that she walked next. Again, she walked for 4 minutes. So go ahead and show that. We have 1 minute, 2 minutes. Pause the video and show how far she walked in 4 minutes. So here I can see that Dora walked all the way to here during the show. On a number line, we would show that by coming and looking at each of our pieces, and I'm going to draw a line down from 1/12 on my number line to here. That is 1/12. And then again, I'm drawing my line down. 2/12, 3/12, 4/12, 5/12, 6/12, 7/12, 8/12, 9/12, 10/12, 11/12, and then I get to 1 whole. After 1 whole, we count it 1 and 1/12, 1 and 2/12, 1 and 3/12, 1 and 4/12, 1 and 5/12, 1 and 6/12, 1 and 7/12, 1 and 8/12, 1 and 9/12, 1 and 10/12, 1 and 11/12, 2 wholes. And then we're going to partition between 2 and 3. 2 and 1/12, 2 and 2/12, 2 and 3/12, 2 and 4/12, 2 and 5/12, 2 and 6/12, 2 and 7/12, 2 and 8/12, 2 and 9/12, 2 and 10/12, 2 and 11/12, 3 wholes. So we are going to place a dot on the number line where Dora walked. She walked all the way past 2 kilometers, 2 and 1/12, 2 and 2/12, 2 and 3/12, 2 and 4/12 kilometers. Now that can actually be written another way, 2 and 4/12. You can use your fraction pieces to find out what is the same as 4/12 that we could rename it that might be easier to work with than 12ths. What's a bigger piece we could use that's not 12ths? So I can write 2 and 4/12. Then I can also rename it after you use your fraction pieces. All right, last problem on this side of the page. Dora explores kilometers of the path each minute of the show. Did she explore 6 kilometers of the path each minute of the show? Yeah, she could have explored 6 kilometers of the path. If today's show is 6/8 minutes long, does that make sense? No, it doesn't make sense to say that the show was only less than a minute long. So it makes more sense that the show would be 6 minutes. Maybe it's a short. So we have the show is 6 minutes long, which means that she explored 6/8 kilometers. So helpful hint, this is going to be 5 as our whole. We're not going to go over 5 wholes. So we'll start at 0 and go to 5, and we will partition our number line into fifths to get our 5 wholes. So I didn't partition it quite perfectly, but it's pretty close. So we have 0 kilometers. I'm going to write km next to it so we know that's kilometers. 1 kilometer, 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers, 4 kilometers, 5 kilometers. All right, how many kilometers of the path is Dora exploring today? So she is exploring 6/8 of a kilometer. So we're going to start our bar model above here, starting at 0, ending at 5, drawing a line between them. Then we have our 1 hole, 2 holes, 3 holes, 4 holes, and 5 holes. If she's walking 6/8, then we need to partition our bar model into 8 pieces so we can see how far 6/8 is. So we're going to partition in half, and then in fourths, and then into eighths. And let me count, make sure I have 8 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces. Go ahead and do that for the rest of your holes. Pause the video and do that now. So each of these pieces are 1/8, so I wrote 1/8 in here. If you want to, you can write it in the rest of the boxes. Dora walked 6/8 kilometers each minute of the show. So on the first minute, she walked 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8. So we're going to mark that 6/8. And that's the first minute of the show. Now the show was 6 minutes long, so she has to walk 6/8 again for the second minute. 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8. So we're going to mark the second minute of the show. Okay, and she has to start and stop exactly on one of the spaces between the pieces, because she can't just magically skip over 1/8 of a mile. So we have 1 minute, 2 minutes. Go ahead and continue this and show the 6 minute that she walked. Now to show this on a number line, we can just draw our lines down from our spaces in our bar model like this and put a tick on the number line. So again, when I'm writing in yellow, that's my pencil just hovering over the page. And then as soon as you get down here, you're going to actually push down on your pencil in order to show. So we have 0, 1/8, 2/8, count with me, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, 7/8, 1 hole, 1 and 1/8, 1 and 2/8, 1 and 3/8, 1 and 4/8, 1 and 5/8, 1 and 6/8, 1 and 7/8, 2 holes. 2 and 1/8, 2 and 2/8, 2 and 3/8, 2 and 4/8, 2 and 5/8, 2 and 6/8, 2 and 7/8, 3 holes. 3 and 1/8, 3 and 2/8, 3 and 3/8, 3 and 4/8, 3 and 5/8, 3 and 6/8, 3 and 7/8, 4 holes. 4 and 1/8, 4 and 2/8, 4 and 3/8, 4 and 4/8. Oh, there's our line showing how far Dora walked. So we know it's 4 and 4/8. I'm going to keep counting because I don't like to just leave my number line not equally spaced. 4 and 5/8, 4 and 6/8, 4 and 7/8, 5 holes. So 4 and 4/8 can be written another way so that it's easier to use. Let's rename 4 and 4/8 into something easier. If you need your fraction pieces for this, that's fine. Go ahead and write it here. Give yourself a star. You did such a great job today.